Welcome back, Limestone County sports fans, and in particular, high school football fans. My name is Greg Wise, and this is the famous Jay Vassar. Welcome in, Jay Vassar.
Good to be here, Greg.
Yeah, I'm the host. Jay Vassar is the co-host. We were both at the same high school football game this past Friday night. We were down at Clements for the Ardmore and Clements game. We'll talk more about that here shortly. But that's what we're going to be doing this week. Again, talking high school football for all of our Limestone County and Athens City teams. 7 high schools represented, and we're going to give you the lowdown on what happened this past Friday night as well as upcoming games. We'll jump right in, Jay. Again, we were down in the Coxie area for the big county rivalry game between Ardmore and Clements. Pretty good first half of football.
Yeah, it was. I never. That's the hardest I've seen Clements play in a while.
Correct. Deep into the third quarter, I was thinking, Brick's got these boys fired up.
Yeah.
And they actually had a little momentum going into the half. Crowd was behind them. At halftime, it was a 7-0 game. Even at the end of the third, it was a 2-score game, 14-0. And then Ardmore's numbers, depth started to play a factor into the game. And then Ardmore had a pick six and got a late score and ended up beating Clements 29-0.
Yeah, like I said, Clements, that's the first time I've seen him play that hard. And Brick had him ready. I knew he would. And, the kids are still learning. He's got some that's, had to get out of the hallways. But a missed hole there, missed tackle, missed block. It could have been closer, but
yeah,
they learning. They learning.
Yeah, and that's kind of the difference between a team that's, dressing 60-something players and a team that's dressing 20, 30 players.
Yeah.
Really deep into the fourth quarter, you start to see the numbers game start to play out. But again, in the first half, man, I thought the offensive play calling Brick was doing was fantastic. Had Ardmore's defense on their heels. Obviously, Coach Snyder's defensive, I call him a defensive mastermind. He's coached defense for a long time. Made some adjustments at the halftime and kind of really shut Clements' offense down. And they were running some things. Obviously, these early games in the season, you don't have a lot of film.
Yeah.
And so you go into games and teams may be running things that you hadn't even seen at all, so you got to make in-game adjustments.
And with Ardmore, with Hawthorne and Riddle both running the ball, and then running Riddle at that Wildcat.
Yeah.
They were running up down the field on Clements. And then what I couldn't understand is why that reverse pass tried down there for at halftime.
Yeah.
And when you're running the ball, when you're just running it down their throat.
Yeah, well, you can get some things on film. I asked one of our assistant coaches here, and he helps coach for Athens, and they did some similar things in their game. And I was curious. I was like, why do you guys show those things on film in games that are, not region games?
Yeah.
I would think that you would hold some of that stuff in your back pocket, and of course they still got tons of stuff in their back pocket. But he said we just had to get something going, and so it hit. They hit it for the touchdown. Ardmore did not miss the pass, didn't execute. It was open.
Yeah, the kid was wide open.
Yeah, just didn't hit it. But Riddle and Hawthorne, man, getting after it.
Hosses.
Both of those dudes are sophomores. Again, the quarterback is a sophomore as well. That sophomore class is loaded. Most of the offensive line sophomores. A lot of those play guys on the outside, those receivers, has got some experience with a junior and a couple senior receivers. A lot of experience on the defensive side of the ball that Ardmore will have this year. But you're right. Went into the half 7-0, and man, the thing that I was impressed with Clements was they played so hard for the full length of the game. They didn't get their heads down and stayed after it.
And Jake Fleming, quarterback, he threw that pick six. He got knocked down pretty good, and he got back up, and he tried to make the saving tackle on that pick six, but Gene got in. But
that was about maybe a 70-yard. Pick six, Skylar Jean had for a touchdown. That was later in the second half as well. Jay, you were there on the call for your alma mater on the Play Action Sports Network. You said your first time calling football?
In a while. I did it years ago for the former station in Ardmore, WSLB. And
gotcha. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Fun time?
It was fun.
Want to do it again?
Yeah.
Now, Play Action Sports, they just kind of go around to the best what would be the best county matchup every week?
Yeah. because Tim does James Clemens games as well. So James Clemens is off this week, so that's why he picked that game. So,
Good.
but we're in the process of myself and Tom McClung. We're buying these little digital recorders and plugging in headsets. And we'll like Tom did Tanner this past weekend. So
Gotcha.
I'm thinking about getting one and going to other county schools while Tim's doing James Clemens. We'll email him and he'll put it in the archives.
Gotcha. I like it. That's always fun time. I was again down on the field shooting some video. I got pretty good shots. You can get some pretty good shots close on the field. You also got to make sure you don't get ran over by 6'2", 280 guys who are trying to make tackles. I'm sure. I keep telling myself if I stand right here, I'm going to end up getting just trucked and breaking my leg over trying to get these shots.
So my son was on the sideline helping with the water and all that, and he was inches away from the hit out of bounds on Pride. I said, "Where'd you go?" He said, "When I seen it coming, I took off running."
Yeah. Well, I'm too old to take off running, and that's my problem. I want to get the shot. I'm actually probably looking at the camera, and I'm just trying to float out of the way, and it's going to come back to bite me at some point. But rolling into next week, Ardmore goes to Priceville. That will be their first region game. Priceville got beat last week by Brewer. Not a region game, but a big rivalry game for Priceville. So I would assume they wanted to give it a go. They did get beat 28-6 down there at I think they went to Brewer. Be first region game for both teams. You got a feel for that game?
Hey, wait. Like I told you and I told Coach Snyder Friday night after the game, I said, y'all got something going here, and I think Ardmore's going to win again.
Yeah, I hope so. We're going to Priceville, so a big game on the road. I thought we came out flat at Clements. I don't know if we had – we just thought we were going to go over there, take care of business, and go to the house. I'm assuming Snyder lit a fire under the guys at halftime because they come out of halftime doing what they had done the previous week. And I would think big region game that matters. To me, they all matter.
Yeah.
But big region game that matters, they'll come out of the locker room ready to rock and roll. The pundits on AHSFHS.org has Ardmore. Dang, I forgot to look that one up, dude. I was looking at they got Ardmore favored by 1. Ardmore at Priceville. Ardmore is favored by 1 point, so you might as well just call it a pick 'em.
I'll take that all day.
I would take Ardmore in that 1 point to cover 1 point as well. Clements has Colbert Heights coming into town. Clements will be hosting their second home game, so a good deal for them. I know it was great for them for their gate. Having Ardmore come over. My wife kept prodding me during the day, "Hey, we got to get there early. We got to get there early. We got." And I'm like, "No, it ain't that big a deal. I'm not going to try to get there, an hour early because it's hot. I don't want to sit out in the heat." We rolled in there probably 6:30, 6:35, and the Ardmore stands were full.
Yeah, y'all passed me on the highway.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah, we had to stop by Arby's and get some run through a drive-through real quick just so we could get there a little earlier. And our band and our student section took up half the bleachers.
They did.
And then the rest of the half of the bleachers was the fans who were already there, who got there before we did. We heard numerous Ardmore fans went over and sat on the Clements side because there was plenty of space over there. And so if they heard any cheering from the wrong fan base on that side, on the home side, that's what the deal was. There just wasn't enough room.
It seemed like Ardmore's band has doubled since the last time we were there. Yeah. When I was there, Clinton, Coach Legg.
Well, they have a ton of flags. Now, obviously, the band is fantastic. My wife raves about the band. She was a band member in high school, so she loves the band. I watch football. I think the band's great, especially when they play neck. They got big band, big color guard, all of that stuff that goes into that. So big member band, and they take up a lot of space. The student section for us was fantastic as usual, doing a bunch of goofy, crazy stuff, and most high schools has those crazy student sections, so nothing new there. Colbert Heights, again, goes to Clements, hosting, again, their second game at home, first region game. Colbert Heights is 2-0.
Yeah.
Clements is now 0-2. FHS.org has Colbert Heights favored by 10 points at Clements. What do you like on that game, Jay?
I don't want to get kicked out of the association of down there. I'm gonna stick with Clements, and if they play hard like they did against Ardmore, good things may happen. So I'm gonna stick with them.
I like where they're going. I think, man, I just even hate to say they need some more dogs. They got the dogs. Yeah. Man, they had some really good football players who were playing really good football. I thought, especially on the defensive side in Brick's play calling. But I'm going to take Colbert Heights on that game. Colbert Heights 2-0. They've won a couple big games. Hadn't seen Colbert Heights at all, so don't know what to expect. And, again, these guys making these numbers, they probably sitting down at the beach in Gulf Shores just whipping up something. Who knows?
Probably so.
Yeah. And so, anyway, moving on to another county game this week. Lexington was at Elkmont. Lexington the week before got absolutely obliterated by Lauderdale County. And so we really didn't know what to expect from Lexington, but Lexington came to Elkmont and beat Elkmont 49-12. That game was 42-0 at the half. I talked to Coach the week before, and we'd mentioned Lexington. That's a winnable game, and he was like, Lexington's got some dogs, and so he kind of knew what he was up against. He's probably seen a lot more film.
Yeah.
And anyway, again, 42-0 and half. Final was 49-12. That was not a region game, but unfortunately, Elkmont does jump into region play this week, and they go to Lauderdale County.
Yeah, that's going to be tough there, especially Lauderdale County coming off that loss to Central.
Yeah, they're not going to be too happy.
No.
Lauderdale County lost a close ball game to Central, which is Central's 5A.
Yeah.
Lauderdale County 3A. And first region game coming off a loss, Lauderdale County is going to be at home too, ready to rock and roll. They got Lauderdale County favored by 28 points. Does Lauderdale County cover the 28?
That and probably some more.
Unfortunately, I think so too. Hate to see that for my alma mater, but Lauderdale County is Lauderdale County. It is what it is. They went to, we've mentioned it in previous weeks before, was a quarterfinal team last year.
Yeah.
They were within one win of the final. So quarterfinal, that's right. Anyway, big time program over there at Lauderdale County. They're going to be good for quite a few years, and this year's going to be no different. Moving over to the western side of the county, East Lawrence came to West Limestone. East Lawrence came in 0-1. They left 0-2. West went in 1-0. They left 2-0. West was up 37. Or the final was 37-0. They were up 17-zip at half. Got any info on that game?
Well, I know just talking to Coach Legg's daughters, they went to the game. I think West may have got a couple guys, banged up, but it's going to be a tough region game there. West Morgan plays hard, and which it'll be at West, I think. So
that's as Jay mentioned. West Morgan comes to town first region game for both teams. West Morgan 2-0, West Limestone 2-0. The pundits has West Morgan favored by 8. What are you feeling on that?
I can see that. It's going to be close, but I think West Morgan will get it in the end.
I think West Morgan's going to win by 20 plus. West Morgan's offensive play calling is elite. That's just me seeing them on the field the last couple of years. I do know they lost some dogs from last year, so maybe a little bit of a talent drop. But, that coach over there is going to be able to rally them and get them going again. They've had a couple big wins early in the season, still putting up a ton of points. And so they know how to move the ball, know how to score. I think defensively, if they can get some stops, then, get the ball back to that high, potent, flying around offense, they'll be ready to rock and roll. But West can grind it out.
Yeah.
If West can grind it out, run that clock, keep the game close, they can stay in it at the end of the game. But anyway, that'll be over at Salem this Friday night. Tanner had Colbert County in town for their first home game. Colbert County came in, I think, 0-1.
Yeah.
And both teams came in 0-1. That game was 56-0 in favor of Colbert County at the half. Final 63-0 in favor of Colbert County. I think you mentioned earlier there's Taylor's got some significant injuries.
Yeah, they get some guys hurt, but Tom said that they had to run in clock at start second half.
Yeah.
It was just they just couldn't get nothing going, and so I feel for Matt and them guys down there because it's going to be tough going.
Yep, and it sometimes that takes 2 or 3 years to get moving in the right direction, and hopefully that's not the case. But they've got Winston County coming in at 2-0. That'll be a region game as well. Yeah. Most everybody, I think, is starting region play this week. Winston County comes in 2-0 at Tanner, another home game. They've got Winston County favored by 15.
I see it at least by 20.
I think so too. Unfortunately, I think so too.
Yeah.
East Limestone had to go to Hazel Green. Hazel Green is 6A school, but Hazel Green has not won a football game, as we mentioned last week, since 2022.
Yeah.
Playoff. They went to playoffs that year. I think they had won a game maybe week 8, 9 of that year, went to the playoffs, lost in the playoffs, and then didn't win a game last year.
Mm-mm.
And so, anyway, they came in 0-1. East came in 0-1 as well. And at half was still a ball game at halftime. Hazel Green was up 12-0. Final, Hazel Green beat East Limestone 39-0. I know they had like a lightning delay or weather delay, didn't get started till late. I don't think that game was over till about 10:30, 11 o'clock.
I think they had a power outage as well. So,
okay.
Because we kept, trying to keep up with the score, and we couldn't. And somebody had texted and said they were in a weather delay, and so we got home. It was still going on.
Yeah, me and Jay were texting each other late Friday night, and, it said second quarter, and I was like, I guess nobody's updating the score on the app that we use to get those scores. It just said first quarter, and I was like, that's no way. It's like 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
This game's got to be over. I thought the final was like 12-0 forever.
So I get home, get on NFHS, and it's like they don't have it on there, so.
Yeah, there's a couple of other apps I use from time to time that'll have some scores. None of them had it. The only Score Stream's the app I use to keep up with local teams, and it just said 12-0. I was like, I guess the final was 12-0.
Yeah.
Nobody just updated that it was the final or the third quarter or fourth. They didn't change the quarter. They just updated the score. But that was not the case. They did have a delay. Hazel Green got their first win since the 2022 season. East still has not gotten in the win column. East has a much-needed bye week this week. So, obviously, nobody's coming to town. They ain't got to go nowhere, and they need that bye week for the game they got following that. They go to Russellville in 2 weeks.
And I know East has got a lot of injuries. The Bonneville family goes to church here. Hayden, I think he tore his ACL and MCL.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
He's out. I guess he's done for the season.
Yeah, he's senior. And
man, that is terrible.
Yeah.
I hate to hear that. Did not know that.
I think their quarterback, Jake Cochran, I think he's hurt too, but he's playing through it. So, yeah, they got a lot of injuries. And, still getting used to the offense and new coach and all that. So maybe this off week will help them some.
Yeah, well, we mentioned that in the first podcast we did that 4 of the 6 county schools has brand spanking new coaches, and a lot of them with no head coaching experience. And so as they start to take the reins on these programs, it's going to take some time to get ramped up. Some, as we mentioned, sometimes that can be a 2-3 year process.
Yeah.
Again, East off that this week, so won't have any updates for them. Hopefully they can get those guys healed up and back on the field, and as they head over to Russellville and start their region play as well. All right, lastly, our recognition of the week, in my opinion, probably the best performance, Athens. Athens, I think, was favored, but pundits thought it'd be a close game.
Yeah.
Athens was up 28-7 at the half on Buckhorn. Athens was playing at home again. And then they finished up that game and beat Buckhorn 42-7. Just based on, things that I'd heard and things you read online, thought the game would be a little closer than that. So very proud of the Athens Golden Eagles to stretch that out at the end of the game and get another win.
Because Buckhorn always has them dogs too, and I thought I thought it'd be a really closer game than what it was. Right. So congratulations to Coach Gross and those guys.
Yep, they get it going every week, man.
Yeah.
They know exactly. They've been doing that for a while.
Yeah.
They know what to do. They go to Coleman this Friday. Coleman is 1-1, and again, Athens goes down there 2-0. That's a region game as well. And AHSFHS.org has the Golden Eagles favored by 11. What you feeling on that, Jay?
I think so too. Go with the Eagles.
You think Athens covers at Coleman?
Yes.
I think they will too, and hope to do. Like to see them headed back up 65 3-0. So just to recap for our county schools, Ardmore is 2-0, West is 2-0, and Athens High School 2-0. Elkmont is 1-1, and Tanner and East are both 0-2.
And if Athens can come out 3-0 if they can beat Coleman coming out 3-0, they got an open date next week, so that'll be good for Coach Gross.
Yep. That's kind of same thing with Ardmore. They've got the next 3 games is vital for their season. They have Priceville on the road, Fairview coming to Ardmore, and then they go to Russellville. Those 3 big region matchups. If they can get one of those games, they're still in a pretty good position. Yeah. If they can get 2 out of 3, they in the driver's seat. And obviously, you win all 3, you're really in the driver's seat for a region championship. Yeah. But one of the goals that we've talked about around Ardmore for a while is getting to host a playoff game. Ardmore has never hosted a playoff game. I think they've been to the playoffs 6 times in their existence. All of those have been on the road because they've usually been, like a 4 or 3 seed. And then those teams have to go on the road. You can still host like in round 2, if you win round 1 on the road. The way that works out, sometimes you can come back home in round 2. But we've always told those kids they used to paint the end zones like checkerboard, kind of like Tennessee, and it wasn't orange, by the way. I'm not painting nothing.
I hope not.
Yeah. But some of the kids said, "Hey, can you checkerboard the end zones? Can you do some of this stuff?" And I've told them for about the last 3 years, when we host a playoff game, we will paint the end zones.
That's a lot of paint.
That's a ton of paint and a ton of time.
Yeah.
I will have to take off of my full-time job and put in a vacation form for about 2 or 3 days to make that happen. But if it happens, we're going to do it, man. Big time to celebrate if we could ever host a playoff game. And then I think it's going to happen within the next couple of years. Big things going on there. But, that next 3 games for Ardmore are very vital, as it is all these teams who are beginning region play.
Yeah.
I think your goals when you go in is to make the playoffs. Top 4 teams in all of these regions get to go to the state playoffs. Some of those regions are 7-team regions. Some of them are 8-team regions. I think West is in that 9-team region.
Yeah.
And so they're going to have to win more region games than anybody to get to the playoffs.
They're going to be more than 500 probably to get.
Yeah. So. Yeah, because they would have to win. Some weird things can happen in a tiebreaker, and you could win like 4, I think. But if you win 5, you pretty much guaranteed a spot. And so I'm sure that's the goal. Got to be the goal for all of these teams. You make the playoffs, and crazy things can happen. You never know what happened. Go 2 or 3 rounds, or maybe end up. Now, are we playing state championship games down in Birmingham now?
Yeah,
they're not alternating between Auburn and Tuscaloosa anymore.
No, because of the playoff system.
That's right.
I think South Alabama is wanting to host too, so that'll be a long drive.
Yeah. Now, are they? I'm assuming they're playing where the Stallions play and UAB plays.
Protective Stadium.
Yeah,
yes.
Right there in downtown Birmingham. That's pretty centrally located. Maybe though, Gulf Shores may have a hall if they have to come back up here and play, but hopefully they don't. Well, they're 6A now, so I really don't care.
Yeah.
All right, Jay. Hey, been a fantastic week of high school football. Looking forward to getting back with you guys after the hopefully everybody listened had a fantastic holiday and getting your fantasy teams in order. NFL kicks off
Thursday night.
Yep, this week. Don't know when you guys will be listening to this, but if you're listening after Labor Day, this Thursday night, NFL kicks off. I got a fantasy draft coming up tonight. We're recording actually on Labor Day, but got a fantasy draft. Looking forward to that coming up tonight.
And good Lord's willing, Wednesday I'll be here on this earth 55 years. So.
55 years,
Yeah.
Jay. You were so old, brother.
I know it, man.
You got what, about 10, 12 years before retirement, and then
Yeah.
you can just do this full time,
Yeah.
just hang out on sidelines, and that'd be fantastic. Now I'm not here that old. I haven't even crossed over the 50 barrier yet, but I'm I'm knocking on the door, brother. So anyway, Wednesday's your birthday, correct?
Wednesday.
So
yes.
if you know Brother Jay Vassar, and you can jump in the comments, wish him a happy birthday. I'd like to encourage you guys who follow us on the Facebook page. We post every Friday night, one general post for you to put your scores, pictures, videos from all of those high school football games in the comments, and you can keep everybody in Limestone County updated on those local scores wherever you are. We've seen some people doing that this past week. We appreciate you. Thank you. Thank everybody for listening.
Yeah, appreciate y'all.
Got a couple things working behind the scenes of maybe some people we want to partner with, maybe make some hats or some cups, make us some merch, and maybe we can maybe give some of that stuff out via Facebook or some team recognition or things of that nature. But got anything else, Jay? Where's the Play Action Sports Network going to be this Friday night?
Well, like I said, wherever Tanner plays, I think Tom said he was going to do all their home games. So,
all of Tanner's?
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Because Tom went to Tanner, so.
Oh, yes. Well,
so,
Winston County will be at Tanner, so I'm assuming he'll be there for that game.
And but Tim will be at James Clemens, Bob Jones.
Yep.
So I'm going to try to get back down to Clements, see him play Colbert Heights.
But, yeah, that should be a good game.
Yeah.
The AHS Sports Network, Ardmore High School Sports Network, will be at Priceville. They live stream on YouTube and Facebook. You can catch that game there. Elkmont High School has their own sports network as well. They will be, I assume, over at the Lauderdale County game. I think they go to away games. I'm not 100% sure.
I think they do.
Yeah, but you can follow all of those on Facebook and get that information there. So good way to keep up with all your area teams.
And Saturday mornings from 10 to 12 on WKAC, Applebee's Tailgate Talk. We talk to our local coaches on the recap their games, and just looking forward to that every Saturday at Applebee's. So y'all stay tuned for that.
Yeah. Two more things I want to plug. The Ardmore Car Show is coming up October the 5th. I think October the 5th or the 6th. It's the first Saturday in October.
That's the Vanderbilt game.
Yes. My mind has went blank. That is the 5th. And that is over on the Tennessee side at the ball field there. Big monster car show. Only fundraiser the Ardmore Quarterback Club does every year.
And it seems to rain every year.
Every year. Last year, I think, was the first year it hadn't rained. But every year it comes a downpour the night before. And people have to be up there at like 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 4 a.m., putting hay out and all kinds of stuff to get those cars in there for the car show. But it would be anywhere from 800 to 1,000 cars. We've had 5,000 spectators come through the gates at that event before. So monster car show coming up. You can find out more on that at ardmorecarshow.com. And lastly, the Black and Gold Club, which is Ardmore Softball, they've got a clay shoot tournament. Big fundraiser for them coming up out at Old South Clays over on Woolly Springs Road. That's coming up in September, so you can find them on Facebook as well and find out more information about that. And anybody else with these fundraisers around Limestone County that benefits these student athletes in all kinds of sports, softball, baseball, volleyball, football, any of those things that you'd like for us to promote, please shoot us a DM or message, or if you know us, just shoot us a text message. We'd love to give you a shout out and get these kids some support.
And I know the wrestling, East Limestone Wrestling sponsoring wrestling this coming Friday night.
Yes,
at the gym.
It's WWE, correct?
No,
I heard Jim McMahon was going to be there and Hulk Hogan.
You mean Vince McMahon, right?
Yes, that's right. Well, Jim McMahon's coming from the Bears, the 85 Bears, to do the Super Bowl shuffle, and he's going to bring.
And September 20th, Clements is having a wrestling show sponsored by Braden Toon, and Braden went to Elkmont.
Yeah.
And they're doing a show September 20th for a fundraiser for Clements football. So
Vince McMahon will be there, not Jim McMahon.
Yes.
And Ric Flair.
Jim McMahon was the punky QB, right?
Yes, sure was. Side note, do you remember, I cannot remember, Eaton, a wrestler?
Bobby
Eaton's brother goes to church here at Lindsay Lane
I did
Baptist
not
Church.
know that.
Sure does. I'll introduce you to him.
Okay.
Be fun. Hope you have a fantastic week. Get out and support your local high school football programs. We'll catch you next week on Limestone County Sports. Have a great week.
See y'all.
God bless.